So I just recorded a video about Fox and the Hound, and then I said something in it that actually caused me to think about something else. Sorry, I'm trying to move my car. So, thought I'd try to hit record and explore this thought a little bit more, which is a thought I've played with before, but it just kind of came up to me on another level. And whenever a scripture comes to mind, it always intrigues me more, because I'm like, well, then it almost seems to back up, to further, I don't know the right word, enforce what we already know. So we know mothers. The thing I said it was towards the end of the video where I mentioned that who could go to the belly of hell for someone like Hitler, and I said his mother could, because maybe it would be someone like his mother, because his mother would be one that would say, I knew you in your youth. I knew you when you nursed on my breast, like when you were just an infant and couldn't take care of yourself. And he had to have a mother, whether it was his physical mother or not. I mean, because you die without a mother, whether it even was a man being a mother and feeding him from a bottle, like coming to him in a form of compassion. The reason I wanted to, what sparked my thought was in 1 Kings chapter 3. It's been on my mind. I haven't been reading my scripture like I normally do, which is probably really bad, but this one passage has just been like on my mind for a while now, and I still can't think about it enough. Like, it comes and goes. I don't sit there meditating on it like I should. But Solomon becomes king. He becomes king in 1 Kings chapter 1. David declares him king. Bathsheba goes to him. Then after that, 1 Kings chapter 2, I think, he lays down the law, starts executing all these people that have kind of betrayed David, all this stuff. Then in the 3rd chapter, God says, what do you want? I'll grant you a wish. I'm your genie in a bottle. And then Solomon says, I want wisdom. I'm just a little child. There's the divine child, the child archetype. He says, I am just a little child. It's the child king. That's why this chapter is so profound for me, because I think it really gets at like these archetypal characters in the narrative of the story of stories. So you have the child king, and he says, I need wisdom. I don't know how I'm gonna judge all these people you gave me. I think that should always be the case. It's the further you go up in levels of authority, almost the more you have under you, it's like almost the more childlike you should be, especially towards God, or your highest truth or your highest ideal. You should approach it in a childlikeness, and that's where the wisdom comes from. You approach it in a fear. It's the fear of God. It's all the same thing. That being said, yeah, I'm getting on such a rant here. To get back to the mother, right after that, then you have this story, which most people might be familiar with, especially if you went to church. It's these two harlots come. So they're both harlots, which is great. It's just freaking great. It just makes it so much better. Like, just side tangent here. Put a pin in that. In the recent video with Jacob and Cal, they were talking, and Jacob asked the question, why didn't Jesus marry Mary Magdalene? And my immediate thought was, or why didn't he ask her to marry him? And my immediate thought was, he did, and she will. And it's that same thing. It's the bride of Christ. It's theosis. It's all the same thing. And so you have these two harlots come to King Solomon, and they're like, we both had kids, and this such and such lady, doesn't matter which one. It really doesn't matter. This is the great part about it. She's like, this one slept on her child and it died, and now she stole my child and says it's her child, and blah blah blah. And so the king needs to figure out which one's the real mother, right? So that's the question. It's not about a physical mother. It's not about the material part of it. God looks at the heart. God does not see as man sees, but God looks at the heart. And so Solomon, the child king, somehow knows this, and he says, cut the child in two. It's such a great story. And then the mother, the divine mother, the mother archetype, it doesn't matter if it was his physical mother or not. It's the mother is the one who has compassion on the child. It's the mother, the theosis, the mercy seat of God, is the one that yearns for the child, that sees the child still and reaches down into the pit of hell to pull the child out of it. She still sees the Hitler in its childlikeness and will reach down and pull it out. She is the the mercy seat of the Logos. That's the mother, the divine mother, the mother archetype. So it's yeah, I don't know what I'm going on about. That's that. I guess that's all I got to say. I'm gonna think of something else as soon as I hit to stop record. I like this story.